What's up, nerds and nerdettes and we little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents the Legendary Gaming! Yes, I have this on for a reason other than the fact that it's just fun. Yes, I do, my friends. Welcome back indeed. Thank you everyone for checking us out. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much. And I got this on for a reason, because I'm going to teach you how to play Thanos Rising. You saw the movie? I hope so. If you didn't, where the heck have you been? Now, time to play the game. So why don't we figure out how this works? And we are back here at the table. So as you see, I got the space tablecloth out because this is fighting Thanos, and it seems very cosmic. And anyway, I don't have one that looks like a map of New York City or Wakanda. So now, we're going to set up the game. That's the first thing we're doing, is we're going to deal with setup. So what you want to do is, this game comes with this really, really cool Thanos statue stand-up. So you have the deployment zone. So you're going to put the deployment zone in a central play area. And you notice that it's divided into 3 different zones, each zone having 3 sides. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ha ha! So the game says to put Thanos in a random spot facing one of the random sectors. Me, personally, as you see here, one side of it says Marvel. None of the other sides do. I actually always start him on the Marvel side. So that's what I do. You can do it randomly or that or whatever way you want to, but you have to start him facing one of the sectors. Now let's take a look, because this is a 2-part board. Why don't we take a look at that second part? So this here is the second part of the game board. This is, as you can see, the Infinity Gauntlet. And if you could tell from here, I think you can see it here, there are little etchings right in here. A little space to hold stuff. All right, so you're going to place this down somewhere nearby. It's not going to have to be too near those. This is going to need a little bit of space, and you'll see why in a moment. So you're going to be placing this down, and there are 6 cards to fill in this area, and they come with their own representations of the Infinity Stones. So that is really cool. I like it. When you get these kitschy little things that come with the game, I really do like that. Guess I'm like a raven in that sense. You put something shiny in a game, and right there, it's got my attention. Okay. And my OCD kicks in, as I make sure this all has to be perfect. Because if it's not perfect, why did you bother? So you're going to have that all set up. Now these cards have little spaces here. And what you're going to be using that for is, you have these cool yellow cubes. And you're going to want to keep them set to the side near this. And you'll see why. You'll see why in a moment as we talk about the gameplay. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is each player in the game is going to choose a team base. Which team are you? Team Wakanda, as it says here, leader is Black Panther. And this means that your team, when it is time to collect your dice pool, will automatically be starting with 3 reds and a blue. If you roll 4 of the webs, that's tech. Not focus right there. We go. If you roll 4 or more of the tech on your opening roll, then you get to remove 2 damage from a hero. So you gotta make sure to pay attention to this. So each of you is going to pick one of these. Nowhere, Team Leader Gamora. Avengers Compound, Team Leader Captain America. And Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, Team Leader Doctor Strange. Now there is also a promo card that you might be able to get for Team Thor, which is a pretty interesting card. You're starting with 3 different dice instead of just 2. And if you roll at least 2 of the power, 2 of the cosmic, and 2 of the mystic on your opening roll, then you get to add 1 damage to each villain in your sector. And you'll see what that means in a moment when we get back to the gameplay during turn by turn. You'll see what that is. So that's an extra one. So each player is going to pick which team that he or she wishes to use to try to bring down Mighty Thanos. And along with that, you are going to take the team's token, because this is going to represent which sector you're working in. Each you're going to take, you're going to have this available, and this just shows where you are in the universe, so to speak. Now, as I was saying before, you're going to want to keep these cubes to the side. You're probably going to want to keep them somewhere near the gauntlet board. You're going to want to keep these damage cubes nearby, somewhere near where all the players will be able to reach them. And then it's time to make sure you have all the dice that you need for the game. And there are 3 of each color, except the red, which is double that. These are your power dice. These are the dice the players are going to be rolling during your game. So when you look at your team, such as if you took Team Leader Gamora for Nowhere, then you are starting with 3 red and 1 black, as pointed out right here. Now, certain team members that you may recruit during the game will give you the option to use extra dice. So your dice pool is going to be building up as you're building up your team. So you're going to want to have this somewhere nearby where everyone can reach it. And you're also going to want to have the Thanos die and the Infinity die. You're going to want that somewhere handy as well where the players are going to be able to reach it. This game also comes with a deck of asset cards for Thanos Rising. And these cards have your enemies on them as well as your allies. So during the course of the game, you're going to be trying to recruit allies. Like this one, I would need 5 power and a roll, and I'll be able to recruit Bucky Barnes. Or you are trying to defeat Thanos' minions, such as one of the General Outriders, who's going to take 2 damage, and in order to do 1 damage to him, you're going to have to make a roll and use a cosmic and a mystic die. And if you use 1 and 1, you will do 1 damage to this individual, this villain. So you're going to want to take this deck, and you are going to shuffle it. You're going to give it however you shuffle it. You do a soft shuffle, you do a casino shuffle, you use a card shuffling machine. I don't know, but you will, one way or the other, shuffle up your cards. Now, you're going to take them and you're going to set them out around Thanos. So there will be 9 cards. And wow, this is very interesting. So let me shuffle the heck out of this. And we have all allies, potential allies to recruit, and we have 1 villain, the child of Thanos, Corvus Glaive, who has 3 health And in order to do 1 damage to him, you're going to have to make a roll and use 2 power dice and 2 tech dice. So you see they are all going to be placed around Thanos. And the deck is going to be put to the side. Because as you defeat or recruit a card, you are going to replace it. So there will always be, as long as there's enough cards from the deck, there will always be 9 cards at the beginning of any player's turn surrounding the mighty Thanos. Now remember, this is the basic setup for the game. And everyone will be starting with their base and with the listed leader for that team. So after everything is set up, you have your team leader, you have your base. Next thing you're going to do is decide who is going to go first. Now, the game suggests that the first player is going to be determined by the individual who most recently saw a movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe library, which, for the theme of this game, works fine enough for me. Otherwise, you can choose how you want to do it to get your first player. So now that we got this set up, why don't we take a moment and while we talk about the individual rules, turn by turn, and how you're going to be playing that game. Now, let's say this is the setup you have. I rearranged the cards a little bit to throw a few more villains out than the randomness that only gave us the 1 when I was first putting them out. So let's say this is what you have. Thanos is facing in this sector here, and this sector has Thor, Black Widow, and Corvus Glaive. The second sector has Proxima Midnight, a General Outrider, and Ebony Maw. And the third sector has Drax, a General Outrider, and Hulkbuster armor. The Hulkbuster Iron Man. So this is the setup that you're going to be seeing here. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking your team token and you're going to be deciding on a sector that you want to be in. Now, when you're in this sector, that means that any dice that you're going to be rolling will be affecting the heroes or villain that are in the sector. So coming over here, if I came over here, all I would be doing is attacking. That would be all I was doing when I was attacking. Well, if I went to either of the other sectors, I would have the option to attack or try to recruit, attack, or try to recruit. Now, in this game, you really need to do both. Because in order to win this game, the players are going to have to finish off a number of Thanos' minions. The game suggests that an easy number would be 7, going all the way up to 10. Now, one of the ways Thanos will win is if 10 heroes bite the dust. Now, that is whether they've recruited on your team or whether they're out in one of the sectors. So you really do want to try to manage your time between attacking and trying to recruit. So let's say we decide to go over here to this sector. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to be taking the Thanos die, and you're going to be taking the Infinity Stone die, and you're going to be rolling those 2 dice at the same time. The first thing you do is you resolve the Thanos die. So the Thanos die will tell you to rotate Thanos once to the right, once to the left. Stay where he is. Do not change his facing, but I have to roll the Infinity die again. Or the Gauntlet, which means he does not move. He stays facing where he is facing, that particular sector. However, all the villains will get to make their attack. They get activated. Normally, it would just be the villains in the sector he is facing. But if you roll this, all the villains will make an attack. So this was it right, I believe? So the first thing he's going to be doing is he's going to be turning to the right. So now he is facing Ebony Maw, a General Outrider, and Proxima Midnight. Now your Infinity Stone die, remember earlier I told you we wanted to keep these handy. When this comes up, you are going to add one to the appropriate little circle board. So as we see, since we rolled the purple, what we will be doing is we'll be taking one of these cubes and we'll be placing it on one of these 6 spots on the purple cube. Now this represents the fact that Thanos' missions, his minions, they are all working together and he has come one step closer to acquiring the purple stone. And when he gets this filled up, this will be placed here to represent the fact that he has possession of it. And this will be turned over. And for this one, add 1 damage to each of the active player's heroes with the most damage. Ouch! So after this is flipped, anytime the roll comes up to add another cube to it, it activates the power. So that's why you want to keep these handy. This is why you want to do everything you can to defeat as many forces of Thanos before these get flipped. Because one of the ways that the players can lose is if Thanos acquires all of the gems and completes the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, when Thanos begins the round, whether he changes facing or whether he doesn't, he will automatically do 1 cube of damage to each hero in that sector. This sector, there are no heroes. But if he had remained where he was, or let's say turned left, then the Hulkbuster armor and Drax would each be taking a cube of damage. And all the heroes, you can keep track of the damage in these spaces here. When it's all filled up, the card goes into the discard pile, or goes, no, not the discard pile. You're going to put it off to Thanos' victory pile. And when this reaches 10, the players lose. So you never want to do that. What you're going to do as the player is you're going to get a chance to roll. Yes, you are. That's the next phase, is rolling your power dice. So as I mentioned before, you're going to take a look at your card. So the Wakanda card comes into focus any day now, perhaps. There we go. So the Wakanda card says that you're going to be starting with 1, 2, 3 reds, and you're going to be starting with a blue. Now, if we had had another Wakanda hero here, then we could roll an extra blue or green die. And currently we don't. We have no other bonuses being the first round. So you're going to take the 3 red, you're going to take the blue, and you're going to roll them out on the table. There we go. Now, being in this sector here with Thor, Black Widow, and Corvus Glaive, we have a roll of a double power. We have a cosmic, we have a magic, and we have a power. It's going to take 4 power to recruit Black Widow, while it's going to take 2 power, 1 cosmic, and 1 mystic. While it's 2 tech and 2 power to do 1 damage to Corvus Glaive. Now, you're going to get a chance to keep rolling the dice until you have no more dice left to roll. In order to roll the dice, though, a die has to be used. So in this case, let's say we're going to go with the 2 on Corvus Glaive. Since we have used the die, we're able to take the 3 remaining dice, and we're able to give them another roll. And this roll, we have another 2 cosmic, and the magic. Once the die is used, it cannot be changed. So this is here permanently. I could take this 2 and put it here for Black Widow. Don't want to stress the dice out too much. Now, if I couldn't have used the die at all, if none of them were useful to me, then I could discard that die and then continue to roll with these 2. So we got another 2 on our power, and we have another cosmic. So another 2 right there is enough that we will be able to recruit Black Widow to Team Wakanda. And the last die here that we rolled is a cosmic, which we can't use. 1 die just by itself doesn't help fill anything in. So that is of no use to us. So you have now gained Black Widow, and she is part of your team, and you'll be putting her with your card. So you have your team all together. All together now. It's all together now. All together now. All together now. All together. All right. He took no damage, so he's fine. Leave him the way he is. This card is going to get replaced. Captain America has replaced that. Now, there was something I did not point out earlier during the setup, and I'm sorry about that, and that is the bonus tokens. They're very, very cool, and thank goodness they're in the game, to tell you the truth. There are a couple of different types. There's the removal type. Let me get that. It's not going to focus very well. Let me try this. So then I can do this. Like that, and try to get the focus. There we go. So the remove chips, remove 1 damage from 2 heroes, remove 1 counter from an Infinity Stone. That is really helpful. So you also have an effect type. So maybe the bonus chip that you were going to randomly pick, and I'll tell you why in a moment, why you're picking them, could be an effect, such as power, or cosmic, or mystic, or tech. Or it could be a full die. You could get the red, the black, the blue, or the green, and that just adds another die to your die pool. Now, when are you going to get a chance to grab these bonus chips, you're asking me, John? Thank you for asking that very important question. Now, on this roll, if I had done 1 damage to Corvus, if I had done the 2 power and then the 2 tech, and I had done 1 damage to him, then I would be eligible to blindly grab one of the tokens, remove 2 damage from a hero. And you can use that at any time on your turn. So now that you've recruited your first hero, you're going to have them with your team cards. And this isn't going to come into play again. That was only what you needed to recruit them. But from this point on, you will be able to use their special ability, such as this case for Black Widow. If you use one of your 2 power dice, whether it's this double one or whether it's the single 2 of them, if you spend that, then you will get to draw a bonus token and remove 1 damage from a hero. So if somebody's wounded, if your team leader is really starting to hurt, you can use that ability. You'll get rid of that, and then you'll be able to come in here and blindly grab another token. And wow, when you need it, you will be able to use an extra green die. You'll be able to add that to your die pool. Now, not every one of the allies is going to need you to do something, such as the Statesman. Once per turn, you may remove 1 damage from a hero. So that's it right there. That's others will, like you have to use 2 tech here for Iron Man to remove a counter from the Infinity Stone. But wow, is that worth it? Sometimes others, like War Machine, if you have another Avengers hero on your team, you may roll an extra red die each turn. So this is how you're building up your team. This is how you're building up your special abilities, so to speak, because everyone is contributing something on your turn. And this way you're also keeping them from being defeated, which will then march you 1 step closer to being defeated. One thing I would like everyone to keep in mind is when you are recruiting heroes. As you see, I set this up as if a few rounds have gone by and people have taken damage that is still sitting out here in the universe. So let's say during the course of the game you continue playing and you end up somehow miraculously, oh, it's not that big of a deal, really, to tell you the truth, but you end up with your, where is it, darn thing? Here we go. You end up with 6 points, so you're able to grab Captain America and add him to your team. Whenever you successfully recruit a hero on the board, all their damage gets removed. So you are getting a healed up superhero, so to speak. However you want to thematically picture that, if it even matters to you or not, then maybe the high-tech facilities in Wakanda immediately heal him. Maybe it's Doctor Strange with a potion of extra healing. I'm not sure. But it does, that's the way it works. And then, of course, don't forget, after every time, you are always going to be replacing. You're always going to be replacing right there. So, yeah, keep that in mind. We missed that the first game we played, or at least halfway through it, we missed it. So, very handy to know. When in doubt, never fear, because the back side of every one of your team cards has a handy-dandy turn order summary, a veritable cheat sheet of how the rundown of the turn is going to go. So it's always handy. It's going to be right there, so to speak, in front of you. It's the backside of you, but it's there for you. Don't forget, it's very easy to just follow this through step by step. If Thanos comes into possession of all 6 of the stones, the game immediately ends because at his will, reality itself is rent apart and the players lose. And if Thanos and his forces end up wiping out all the members of one team in the same turn, then the heroes have lost a key strategic point in their battle against Thanos, and they lose. If Thanos and his forces end up wiping out a total of 10 or more heroes, regardless of teams they are on, or if they are still in the sectors waiting to be recruited, if 10 or more heroes, period, get killed by Thanos and his forces, the players lose. The players can win by defeating, depending on whether you want a hard game or an easy game, 7 villains. 7. I want to make sure my count was right. 8. Yeah, find some more villains in here. 8. We all me villains at. 9. 10 for a hard game. So between 7 villains and 10 villains, easy to hard. If the heroes can defeat that many, the heroes are going to win. It's actually the only way the heroes can win, folks. So you want to get right on top of that. So always remember, you're going to start by deploying your team token into a sector. You're going to roll both the Infinity Stone and Thanos die, and you're going to resolve the Infinity Stone first, and roll the power dice, and then you're going to assign at least 1 die, and then you're going to continue rolling. So after that, you should have recruits, you should have enemies defeated, and it's on to the next turn. And as I pointed out, remember that when you do recruit heroes, those recruited heroes are healed, so you get to return any damage cubes that they may have accumulated. And that, my friends, is how you are going to play Thanos Rising, the USAopoly game. Great tie-in for the movie, definitely fun. But you just don't want to see the how-to play. I mean, it's good, it's nice and all, but you'd much rather see a playthrough, wouldn't you? I don't blame you. That's why tomorrow night, or tonight's, depending on when this gets dropped, tonight's episode of Friday Night Filler is going to feature me and the 20-Sided Warriors doing just that. We're going to be tearing Thanos a new one. Trust me on that. So you're going to want to check that out. All right, my friends. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing to Two Gun Pixie here on YouTube. And you know what? Thank you for sharing also. Every time I see something's been shared, it is awesome. It really is. So just keep watching our show. Like I said, we're going to be doing a live playthrough here on YouTube tonight. Probably by the time this drops, early in the morning. Yeah, so tonight, and it's going to be live. So that's it, my friends. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone, so much. I'm your buddy Big Giant G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming and our friends. I am